Up inside the Discord is going to be something where we can kind of like follow trades. This is called trade tracking, right? And these trades here, when you go down here to the Academy indicators, you're going to see Academy trades, right? Those are the trades you should be taking and no other trades if they're not in here. So we have a long here, we have a 4-hour green trend, 20 to 40x leverage, 30% stop loss, solid close on a 2-hour red trend. We have another long, 20 to 40% leverage, 2-hour green moon, 1 hour, and we're probably going to be moving these leverages around as we move to, we're going to tighten them up. But as we move forward here, let's take a look here. There's a short, 50 leverage, 50 times stop loss, 1 hour red moon, enter on a 30-minute red trend, solid close on a 1 hour green moon. So then when you go up here to trade tracking, you can see that there is a 1 hour red moon, right? And this trade here, and then we can see where we post. What we're going to do is post the coin that's in that situation and then track that trade with four photos, right? First photo is going to be the 1 hour. There's the 1 hour moon showing why we're going to begin in the trade. The second one is the 30-minute with the 30-minute trend showing why we're in that trade. And then the others is just to put data on the 2 hour and the 4 hour so that you guys can take a look and see what the higher time frames are saying at that time. At this time, the 2 hour time RSI was bottomed out, so which means the push is going to pull back a little. Probably going to have a little bit of a bounce in between, but the pullback won't be as strong as we want as such a windfall, because eventually a 2 hour has to break up a little bit. And then as we take a look here, we can see on the 4 hour that the 4 hour RSI is still coming down. So we do have some room here, still pulling down on the 2 hour RSI, meaning that we should get a nice little short here before it heads the other direction. Now, if the 2 hour RSI was at the top just coming down, then this would be even a bigger short. But let me show you how this one comes out. We're going to track it, right? So tracking this trade, going in here, let's go see how this worked out. So slide over the GPT. We can find here when we go to the 1 hour, we see that we have a 1 hour moon that happened right here. I'm going to put this little line here. And then since the 1 hour moon popped up, I would then go to my 30-minute because I'm going to enter on a 30-minute trend. Okay. Now, the question is, and this is kind of where we kind of look at this is, all right, so we already have a 30-minute trend here happening, right? It's already in a 30-minute trend, which means that you could get into this trade at this time if all the other indicators lined up. Because sometimes you guys will get into a trade and it'll go the other way on you and you'll get stopped out, and then you don't get back in the trade, and then the trade goes on for a big win. You're like, man, I got stopped out, VC. Well, did you follow the rules of engaging into an enter into our position, right? Meaning that where did you set your entry at to get into the particular trade when it happened? Meaning that this, right? We have to have a 15-minute minimum, 15-minute RSI reset to the top and come down. And then the 5-minute has to reset and also come down. The way that you really want it is the 15 and the 30-minute resetting and both coming down with the 5-minute at the same time to get your entry point. That meaning that you probably have one of the highest points of the pushback before it starts coming in the direction you want, which is down, right? So taking a look at this trade here, we see that we have the trend happened right here. Here's your 30-minute trend popped off right here. And then we say, all right, man, there's my 30-minute trend. Here's my 1 hour moon. I need to get in this trade. I'm behind on the times. So let me figure out how to get in here. So the first thing you do is what? Take a look at the 30-minute RSI. Okay. That's the first thing that we have to do here is basically take a look at the 30-minute RSI. And that's going to allow us to basically see where the current RSI is on the 30-minute so that we can see what's happening with the relative strength index and then basically follow the system, right? So let's pull up here as we're getting all these alerts that pop up here. All right, here we go. We take a look here and we're going to see that we have our 1 hour moon. We jump to our 30-minute. 30-minute trend is happening right here. We're good to go. We take a look down at our 30-minute RSI and we notice that right here, when we're looking at the 1 hour moon, our 30-minute RSI is at the bottom and heading up. So it needs to reset. Now, sometimes we can get away with just letting the 15-minute reset and then come back down without the 30-minute. If it's a real heavy pullback, it won't bring the 30 up. And the way you tell this is that when the 15-minute starts to go up, if the 30-minute is still going down and then the 15-minute starts to go down and the 30 is still going down, then you just enter on the 15-minute. right? The 15 minute and then the 5 minute RSI and get in there. But if the 15 minute starts going up and the 30 minute starts to go up with it, then you have to let the 15 minute start to bend, and you have to then wait for the 30 to bend, and then you go to your 5 minute and enter off the 5. So the 15 minute has to pull the 30 up for you to get your trifecta, 15, 30, 5, enter. Or if the 15 goes all the way up but the 30 doesn't come up and the 15 comes down, then you only need the 15 and the 5. Okay, guys? So taking a look here is very simple. We see that we have our 30 minute at the bottom, and we're like, all right, we got to wait for this to bounce. So what I need to do is start with the 15 minute, because remember, if the 15 minute goes up but the 30 doesn't follow, then we enter when the 15 minute goes down and starts chasing the 30 minute. But if the 15 minute is going up and the 30 is chasing the 15, then we allow the 15 to come back down and have the 30 chase the 15, okay? Get it? All right, so now we take a look, and at this moment here, we have our moon, and we realize at this point right here, the 15 minute RSI is at the bottom here. You see that? But it's starting to move up, right? So as it starts to move up, we're gonna wait for the reset. So as it starts to reset, like for instance, right in this area here, notice how it's starting to reset right here. I go back to my 30 to see if the 15 is gonna chase the 30 or if the 30 is gonna chase the 15, right? So when I do that, I can see right here on my RSI, I can see right here on my RSI that we're starting to see a move here. Give me 1 second. And we can see right here on this particular move, right here is where we're at, that we have the 30 minute RSI. So let's slide this down. We have to re-put our line here because it reset. So here's our entry point right here. And we can see right here that the 30 minutes starts to go up. So then if we go back and look at our 15, we can see right here when the 15 minutes starts to break up, we can see that the 30 is starting to chase it. So then, since the 30 is chasing the 15, you have to let the 15 break down, and then you follow the 30 when the 30 starts to chase the 15. But if the 15 goes up and the 30 doesn't chase it, then you enter early and chase the 15, chase the 30. Okay, guys? That's how it works. Now, we have to let these RSIs reset, right? Otherwise, you guys jump in too early and you're like, yo, VC, I got stopped out, VC, right? And that's what will happen right here is you'll get in early and then it'll stop back up on you and you will be in a bad position and you'll end up not being in a good position, right? So as we let this kind of reset, we can see that we get up here, we get our 15 minute RSI, we take a look and now we have a green moon on the 15 minute, which isn't good for us because we're looking to go short. So now we need to let the 15 minute moon reset, right? So now the 15 minute goes along and all of a sudden, what we're looking for is a red moon on the 15, right? So let me slide this over here, and that's gonna be where the 15 minute red moon is. But while I'm tracking this, because I wanna get ahead of it, I would be watching the 5 minute chart because the 5 minute is going to tell me what's happening on the 15. So I would get into a position where I'm watching the 5 minute to see where the 15 is gonna change. And as I'm watching the 5 minute here, I can see that I'm going through some different things here, right? So I go from a green to a red moon, right? And then I got another, my 15 minute RSI is still going up. I get a green moon and I'm like, all right. So as soon as my green moon goes back to a red moon on the 5 minute, that's gonna put me into my short position, right? Because normally our short is what? A 5 minute pullback is what? A 5 minute red moon with the RSI, 15 minute RSI and the 30 RSI following each other down. That is our trade that we call the 5 minute pullback, which will also be a perfect entry into the short that we're chasing, which is the 1 hour red moon and a 30 minute red trend. And we can see that all comes together right here. What happens is that we get a trend, we get a 5 minute red moon here, which will trigger us to say, oh, here we go, we're ready to go. We would take a look at our 15 minute RSI, right? And let's move this here to this red moon. This would be the area that we're looking to enter right here. We would then slide to the 15-minute, because why? We're looking for the 15-minute RSI to basically, now that we have a 5-minute pullback starting to happen, we would move to the 15-minute to catch the 5-minute pullback trade that we're so used to getting. All right, so let's see what we got here. And as we can see right here, we have our two lines. The 5-minute red moon is hit right here. We look down and we can see right there that our 15-minute RSI is doing what? It's starting to break down, which means we should be getting into this trade ahead of it. And then all of a sudden we'll start seeing the 15-minute moon start to flash, and we can say, man, we're ready to go. And then right here, off of this candle, we would enter a short position. And that is how you get in the correct short position and save yourself from being stopped out or being in the wrong direction or taking the wrong trade. This is the proper entry. The second thing is we are running a 50X. And our 50X means that our 1%, which this can go up to this point somewhere in here before we have a stop loss, because we're going to have it to about a 1% move up that we can be wrong on, somewhere around there. And that would be our stop loss until we start moving. And as you can see here, what happens once we're in the trade, we're looking to close on what? The solid close is on the 1-hour green moon. Take 50% profits at 100% and 200%. Okay, very clear. So let's go back to this trade. How does this trade play out? So now we're in the trade. We go down. What's 100% profits? You're doing a 50X, right? So 1% move is 50%. 2% move is 100%. So let's slide this up. Let's see where the 2% move happens. And as we can see right here, we have a 2% move that actually manifests itself right here. And this is where we would have snagged this little 2%. We would have took 50% of our profits, right? Because it moved up, it went up 1%, okay? Which is $50. Goes up 1%, 50% of $50 is 25, right? It goes up another percent, which gives us our 100%, which means we've made $50 in profit. And right here, we would take our $50 out, which is basically essentially our entry money. So now we took out our entry money and we're leaving in the $50 that we have in profit, which is considered basically house money, right? So now this trade continues on because we're not getting out of this trade until what? Until we get a green moon, right? So as we move forward here, we're in our trade. We keep going along, and what we're looking for to get out of this trade is a 1-hour moon, right? A 1-hour green moon. So let's slide over here to the 1 hour and let's see how this actually plays out for us. So here's our trade. Here we go. What we're looking to do get out of this trade is going to be a 1-hour moon, right? Here's our 1-hour moon. It pops up right here, right? So this would be the exit point of this trade. So this trade would eventually exit on this level here, okay? So now let's see how this trade would have done, right? First, the 2% move, we take half of our profit, $50 comes out. The rest stays in. The next move as it starts to come down is the 4% move, because that's where we have a 200% gain, and we take another half of that, right? Which basically means we left $50 in, it did another move, which basically took the $50 we left and it doubled the $50 on this next move here, because it moved 2%, which is 50 times what you have left, 50-50, there's another $50. We're going to take that $50 out, and we now have doubled our bag. We have 50 from our first, 50 from our second, we have $100 sitting there, and then we have $50 inside the bag that we're going to leave in the bag, basically sitting in the trade to continue on until we get our 1-hour moon. Now, the second thing we want to do is once we hit our 200% and we start to go down, when we get to the level, right, we're always staying what? Right? Now that we're going to keep rocking and rolling, we see that we get to a level where this actually drops down and has a really nice trade where it gets down to about 7%, starts to bounce up, and that's where we see the close when we get this 1-hour moon. we actually close out here at the 5% move, right? So then we see that 1 hour moon, we get an alert on our cell phone, we go back, we close our thing out. So we ended up getting another 1%, at least 1% move to the positive, which would have gave us another $25 in there. So that's a very successful trade. We end up winning there. So we end up doubling our bag and getting a little bit more. So that's how that trade plays out, and that's how you enter the trade correctly, by waiting for the 15-minute RSI to reset. If the 15 minutes going up and the 30 chases it, then what you do is you enter when the 15 starts going down and the 30 starts chasing it, okay? Now, if the 15-minute goes up and the 30 does not chase it, when the 15-minute decides to chase the 30, then you enter on that instead, because the 30 is already committed to the downside, which means you probably have a 2-hour RSI that's high and going down, and there's more pull pressure. That is how you do that trade, guys. That is a very successful trade. We're going to start posting these trades inside there so that you guys can understand how each of them win very simply.